We're accustomed to Sunday rosters and lineups, Sunday lineups being a little bit different. You have the day game on Sunday, and you might say, let's give a couple of guys an opportunity. So they did. They gave Nolan Gorman and Pedro Pajes an opportunity to join the party, and they were the stars of the game. Gorman hit a home run, had 3 hits. Pajes had a big, big day, including a 3-run homer, and the Cardinals got big contributions out of them, and they stepped on the gas early. They got their runs early. They had 8 runs, getting out to an explosive start. 8 runs by the 3rd inning, and then Gorman hit the late home run. Palante getting 5 innings in. Steven Matz accepting his role as a long man in relief, coming in and getting a 4-inning save to finish off the game. The Cardinals played great baseball. The highlights of the first game, Arenado with his curtain call after a great day from Lars Nootbaar, who had a home run in the game. Ryan Helsley closing out what Sonny Gray started. Victor Scott with his streaking play out in center field to make the catch on the run. And so many things in between. And then, of course, Saturday's dominance. I mean, that was a dominant game. Eric Fetty with a great start. Bullpen finished it. Cardinals had big hits. I mean, look, it's a fun brand. Are they playing with an edge right now because people doubted them? Probably. Those guys all have a lot of pride, and they're all playing with a lot of energy. The challenge will be to keep that going throughout the year, and
which is hard to do in baseball.
Very hard to do. All you can ask is that this team wins series.
Right.
They did that on Saturday, and then they came out and they thumped the Twins on Sunday. I like that a lot.
I would put it this way: bank wins whenever you can get them. Because look, I know, again, we'll keep saying transitional season, which is what it was supposed to be.
I like what Pat said. He goes, let's just call it a rebuild. It is what it is.
And that's fine too.
I like it. It's a rebuild.
You can still be, especially given this division, you can still win within this division during a transition and or rebuild season. What you need is bank as many of those wins you're supposed to have as possible. So, for example, you got the Angels in town tonight for the first of 3. This is a team you should be better than, even in your transitional year. Win games like this so that by the end of the year, it does make your job easier if you're going to be playing those meaningful games we're talking about. And I know we're getting way ahead of ourselves. It's hard not to feel encouraged by the weekend. And I think it's okay to be encouraged by the weekend, because despite what the season is supposed to be, strange things do happen in baseball. And until reality smacks us in the face, I think it's okay to enjoy this and hope it continues. So against the Angels tonight, Tom, it's a matter of continuing this and continue to put those wins in the bank against teams they probably should beat.
It's been a lot of fun to watch these performances, like Victor Scott coming through with the big day. My friend Dan Hyatt, who does stats, put this one out there on X yesterday, that there's only one other player in Cardinals history that went out in his first 3 games of the season, had 3 steals and a home run. His name's Lou Brock. So, that's a pretty good start for Victor Scott, who was flying out there. One of the fastest players in baseball, 30 feet per second sprint rate. That is absolutely insane. The Cardinals start a season with 4 consecutive wins if they get it done today for the first time since 1986.
Yep.
That year didn't turn out very well for them.
Yeah.
They were 4-0 and finished 4 games under 500. All you can ask right now is that the Cardinals see improvement. And we saw it yesterday from Nolan Gorman. You could just see it in his body language. In fact, it got to the point where Ricky Horton called the home run, or at least asked for it. He said, I'd love to see him drive one here. Just the way that he's walking up to the plate, his body language today, the way he's hitting the ball, boom, ball goes out of the ballpark. You can see a change in people with Brant Brown's influence. You can hear them talking about it. The Cardinals' offense is exactly what they needed these first 3 games. It is a very, very encouraging start for the club.
Love to see him really charge into one. Next delivery to him is hit high and deep to right field. Did he get it? Yes, he did. Big fly, Nolan Gorman. His 3rd hit of the afternoon. What a great start to the season for Gorman. And sometimes you just have a feeling.
Yeah, there you go. And it's a matter of getting at the at-bats for him, and the more he does stuff like that, the more at-bats he's going to get. And so you'll continue, and hopefully will continue to learn more about him. You know, and I'm talking about the Minnesota Twins here, a team they just swept, and saying, you know, beating teams you're supposed to. It's not like the Twins are an awful team. They're not. Just 2 years ago, they went to the playoffs. They won their division. Granted, the AL Central isn't the strongest division in baseball. They were over 500 last year. So I think this was a pretty good showing against a team that is at worst okay. They're not an abysmal team. At least I don't think they're going to be. But we've seen all of this stuff happen and everything going as well as possible, which I think when we come back, we're going to talk about Miles Mikolas and what the pitching is going to look like, because this, for me, pretty big start. It's not like, you know, it's not a make or break or anything like that. But given what the other pitchers did over the weekend, top to bottom, talking about the rotation, Gray and Fetty and everybody else who's pitched so far, they all did really well. It's up to Mikolas to continue that. And for somebody who over the last season or two has been, you know, not nearly as effective as when they first brought him in, I think this will be an important start for the season for him. It's not going to make or break him, but it's still important that he does well, I think.
He had a couple of nice and tidy spring training starts to finish out, and that's because he's a strike thrower and he lets his defense get the job done behind him. We'll see if that's the case here, but probably that's what's going to happen tonight. He's going to throw strikes and let his defense make plays. You hope he doesn't leave one over the heart of the plate, because I don't care if it's the Angels or anybody. These guys will hit it out of the park if you do that. But hopefully he's able to mix in his pitches and give them a nice, strong 6-inning start. That's what you can ask. That's what Gray almost gave you. That's what Fetty gave you. And it's what Palante almost gave you, but the rain halted that. I think so far, it's exactly what you want to see out of this starting rotation. And then you have Matthew Liberatore waiting tomorrow. So that's really fun. I should mention, we've gone this far without mentioning, but I know you already know this, but I'll mention it. The big announcement for tomorrow, which we've already talked about yesterday on Sports on a Sunday Morning, but at this time tomorrow, we will have a recurring guest on the Gashouse Gang starting on Tuesdays at 12:05 going until 12:30. We will be joined by Cardinals manager Oliver Marmol. He has been a part of this station for the last 3 seasons, appearing on Sundays at length. Then we broke it up into 2 shorter segments just to accommodate Sundays and Wednesdays. We're going to go back to a longer segment with Ollie, but it's going to be a little bit different. We're going to bring in Bernie Mikolas. You and I are going to spend some time with Ollie, and you're going to be able to see him on our stream on the Gashouse Gang, and you're going to be able to ask him questions. And he wants that. And he's wanted that for a while, actually. We've talked about it for a while. He kind of had a little deeper conversation with myself, with Bernie Mikolas, with Steve Moore, our program director. And Chris, he is going to be really soaking this in. I think he wants to be able to show himself as a person, but also answer all of those tough questions about baseball strategy, and he'll do that starting tomorrow.
He's willing to do it, which is the important thing, is that he's willing to talk about it, and maybe he'll be willing to give it back too. So Oliver Marmol on Tuesdays from 12 until 12:30 will be with us on the Gashouse Gang. Tom Ackerman and Bernie Mikolas will be part of that. I will be here. So again, if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter at KMOX Sports, you can send us a message directly from there, or you can text in 314-436-7900 or drop in a voice message right on the Odyssey app. It is the Gashouse Gang on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Story Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Story Law Firm has helped thousands of clients clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Land Story Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code TRAVEL to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code TRAVEL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code TRAVEL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Warmer spring weather is right around the corner, and now is the time to plan your home's exterior renovation project. Banner Construction is booking now for homeowners to be first in line for beautiful James Hardy siding and Pella replacement windows. Beat the price increases and plan your project now. Visit bannerconstruction.com or call 314-569-1050 to get a free in-home design and estimate. Call 314-569-1050 and have a banner day.
The Zoo softball takes on top-ranked Texas in a huge weekend series. It's a weekend full of big promos, including free ice cream, a sunglasses giveaway, and post-game autographs, all during the final game of the series on Sunday Funday. Tickets are only $15 to watch this big-time softball. Make sure to get yours today at mutigers.com/tickets. That's mutigers.com/tickets. MIZ.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends Mark and Neil Gelman from the Gelman team of eXp Realty. If you want immediate cash for your home or to see what your home is actually worth in today's market, find out for free from the local experts. 314-336-1991. Go to thegelmanteam.com. Beat the spring cleaning rush and call our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. This month, get 3 rooms Zero Resified starting at $119. Take $75 off your air duct cleaning. Visit ZeroResSTL.com and tell them that KMOX sent you. Spell it forward, spell it backward. It's always the same, Zero Res.
KMOX is everywhere. 1120 a.m. Streaming live on the Odyssey app. And now at 104.1 FM.
France swings and hits it on one hop. Diving catch by Donovan. He throws and gets France at first. Wow. Put a star on that play. That ball was blistered. And Donovan had just come in from left field to play second base, left his feet, and took a hit away from France.
Well, you wonder why you make these defensive moves. What a play that was by Donnie.
Good win for the Cardinals. Good series for the Cardinals. They start with a sweep. They've got the Angels, 6:45 tonight. It is Tom Ackerman and Chris Ranji on the Gashouse Gang every weekday at noon. John Rooney will be joining us shortly, and we hope you will stick around for that. And as Tom said, Oliver Marmol is going to be part of the show from 12 to 12:30 every single Tuesday. He's going to take questions from fans and from us and from Bernie Miklasz. So Tuesdays are going to be awesome here, Tom. Really looking forward to that starting up
It's going to be great. And, I have never one time told fans how they should react to anything. You can act as you want within reason, be civil when you're at the game, I would say. But, you can react any way you want to this team. But my suspicion is that most people love the brand of baseball that they're seeing. And let's go with that highlight that Matt Pajeski just played out of the break. That Brendan Donovan defense was something special. Mason Wynn was something special defensively. Obviously, Nolan Arenado is a world-class third baseman. And Wilson Contreras looked very natural at first base. Got very fortunate that his arm didn't get tangled up there at first on that wild throw by Fetty.
That was the thing. That was exactly what everybody's been talking about, being worried what could happen to Contreras at first. I've heard it from multiple people, and it almost went very badly, but thankfully he's all right.
He's a great athlete, and he was able to, fortunately get himself out of that situation. The outfield, I mean, Victor Scott making that play out in the center. What a luxury it is to have Michael Ciani if you need him. But Jordan Walker can handle it out in right field for now.
Yep.
You saw Nootbaar able to play in right field because they opted to go with Gorman. So you had Donovan out in left field. Look, the Cardinals have a very, very good defensive situation, and I think they're going to try to win some games with their defense. Obviously, they need this offense to explode, and so far, so good. I mean, I can't say enough about the way the Cardinals constructed their lineup and the way they executed their lineup. I mean, they had a little bit of everything. They had speed, they had power, they hit the ball into gaps, but it's mostly their approach at the plate. They are expanding their zone, but they are not chasing. They are going after pitches that they like, and they are being selective. They're drawing walks. Very, very good start. Very encouraging.
Yeah, this is this is the way it's going to have to look if they're going to win this year. Of course, Contreras will have to be a bigger part of the conversation when it comes to the offense. And as the weather starts to warm up in St. Louis, I've had a few people who have texted in about him. If there's anybody in the lineup I am not worried about, it's Wilson Contreras.
I'm glad that people are concerned, but he's going to be.
And I don't think it's great concern. I think
he's
it's
going to
just
be an all-star.
Yeah, I think it's just, the dude's going to be perfectly fine. And I do think playing him at first base will elongate his career. So
I would be shocked if he didn't end up being the leader in most offensive categories for this team when it's all said and done, if he's healthy.
Now, you can be a little concerned about Mason Wynn. I know that start, not good, and it's only 3 games, but still, when you compare that to what happened in spring, or you put that all together, there's a little concern there. It's not great concern or anything, but I think he's, I don't know. How do you feel about it? Because I'm not
about Mason.
Yeah,
it's 3 games. I mean, he didn't have a good spring, so getting his timing down certainly is going to be something. There's no backup shortstop, so Mason Wynn's going to have to.
He's going to play
Mason Wynn and play great, and figure out a way to be on the field just about every day. I think that they made the right move by having Lars Nootbaar bat leadoff, because Mason did not have a great spring. Mason was batting leadoff in spring training to get the maximum number of at bats in games, so he could get as many ABs as he could to get his timing down. Now, you don't want that. You want your top guy right now is Lars Nootbaar. Lars Nootbaar, so far, even though he went 0 for yesterday, still drew a couple of walks, if I'm not mistaken, and is the engine that has gotten this team going. He has been fabulous. His athleticism on display, his power, his selectivity at the plate. He has some freakish ability that when he's healthy, the sky's the limit.
And this could change throughout the year, but I am still far more comfortable with him batting leadoff than they had Wynn doing it a lot of spring training. I prefer this.
Well, that was that was only to get an X number
as many
of at-bats.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, things could change, and maybe they decide, hey, this dude, well, look, he's getting on base. He's got speed. We'll put him at the top of the order. But for right now, this is the right way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, what Mason was hitting like 080 in spring training. I mean, I think Nootbaar, Contreras, Donovan, Arenado, Burleson, I would not change that. Herrera coming in and playing catcher. And his bat, and then Pies comes in and hits a 3-run homer and is one day a catcher. I mean, you could not write up the script better for Ollie Marmol and his team in the first 3 games.
And again, going back to Wynn, if you're concerned about him struggling, he might, and it might take a while. But I think the good thing about what they've decided for the season is that he's going to get the opportunity to struggle and work himself out of it, which is what a young player needs. Tom Ackerman, Chris Ranji. When we come back, we'll talk to the voice of the Cardinals on KMOX, John Rooney. He's next.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Farming's hard. To feed the world, farmers have to work the land, brave the elements, and fight the battle against weeds. Weeds reduce crop yields, so prices go up and everybody gets less to eat. But 50 years ago, farmers got a new tool to fight weeds, glyphosate. It kills weeds while protecting the harvest. Time and again, it has been approved by the EPA and by leading regulatory bodies around the world. It helps enable practices that reduce erosion and keep soil healthy, which is good for the earth. Farming's hard, but it's a little easier with glyphosate. Learn more at go.bayer.com/glyphosate. Paid for by Bayer.
It is 45 degrees in St. Louis, approaching the high of 54. It'll be low 60s tomorrow, mid 70s on Wednesday. The weather is brought to you by Interpark Holdings. The easiest way to park on game day is to park with iParkit. iParkit has the best game day parking garages in St. Louis. 2 iParkit garages are on Clark Avenue, right next to the ballpark. Download the iParkit app and drive in and out using only your license plate. Use iParkit for convenience and peace of mind.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. One question I'm always asked is, how did you become the largest injury firm in the world with over 1,000 attorneys and $25 billion in verdicts and settlements? One way was our financial strength. Medical malpractice is the third leading cause of death in America. To prosecute a typical case costs up to $250,000 in case cost. We advance them all. Product liability cases can have similar costs with an army of lawyers on the other side. Automobile insurance companies have the resources to fight. Guess what? So do we. Many law firms simply may not have the financial firepower to work up your case the way you deserve. And we don't charge by the hour. No recovery, no fee. If you have a question about your case or wish to become a client, go to forthepeople.com on your mobile device or computer. 24/7. It's that easy. Morgan & Morgan. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Now the John Rooney Conversation on KMOX. Sponsored by Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance. We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance. And if you're a Missourian, we're for you.
A swing and a high fly ball. That's hit to deep right field by Scott. It's a gunner. It's in the Cardinal bullpen. 3-1 Cardinals with nobody out in the second.
Gashouse Gang on KMOX from 12 to 1 every weekday. Tom Ackerman, Chris Ranji, talking birds, baseball, and sports with you. We go to the guest line, and we welcome in that voice you just heard. It is John Rooney, the voice of the Cardinals, who is with us now on KMOX. John, I think this is like 4 days in a row for us.
Well, we had Sunday off.
Oh, yeah, we did have Sunday off. That's true.
Saturday.
And Saturday. Weekdays.
And boy,
weekdays.
I needed it.
But, man, how about this series? A series sweep to begin the season? First time they've done that in almost 20 years.
Well, the Cardinals played really good baseball. They did very well in every facet of the game, pitching it, catching it in particular. Very good defense. And then timely hitting, and hitting with 2 strikes and scoring 2 out runs. And that's how you win series. And it's how they swept the series from Minnesota. That's not a bad team, not a bad lineup, but the way Sonny Gray was able to pitch, followed up by Fetty. And I thought it was a good start yesterday. And we got the game with Palante into the rain delay and then to the bullpen where Matz got his first professional save. So things lined up well for the weekend, no question.
Yeah, John, all 3 wins were great. I felt like Sunday was my personal favorite. I like when you win a series and then you come out and you step on them, and that's what they did. And on top of that, you got a terrific performance from both Nolan Gorman and Pedro Pages. We played the highlight just moments ago from Ricky Horton where he asked and then did receive. What did you both see in Nolan Gorman yesterday? I know he acknowledged the body language and how Nolan was just walking to the plate.
Well, I think we saw it in spring training with Nolan Gorman, how he was able to flatten his swing, and he wasn't lunging for pitches the way he did last year when he had so many strikeouts. And he's been able to take the work in the offseason and now bring it into the regular season. It was a slow start in spring training for sure, but I thought he made better contact even on some of the outs he made. And sure, you worry about the strikeouts after so many of them last year, but it's more of a level swing now, quicker to the ball, direct to the ball, and this guy has tremendous power. Oh, you get him going, and think of the series he had a couple of years ago in Boston. Get him going on through this series with the Angels, and then go to Boston over the weekend and turn him loose. I just love the way he's swinging it. Walker seems to be swinging the bat better. Contreras is swinging okay. He struck out a few times, but even the hard hit balls are right to people. Even the one off the pitcher's foot back to the catcher to first base. Couldn't buy a hit there, but Mason Wynn, he's going to come around too. You know that. But it's nice when you have a different person contribute day by day. And Gorman had the big day yesterday after Nootbaar was so good the first two.
John, we were just talking about Contreras having the moment on the play at first where, the ball was off center and, got hit by the runner. And that was the one thing, listening to the broadcast, that you and Ricky both had been talking about, the concern that moving to first base, something catastrophic like that could happen. That was a pretty scary moment, but great that it didn't turn out to be worse. And I would think that he's going to figure that part out.
Well, I think so. I think he'll handle that differently by stepping off the bag, taking the throw, and then applying the swipe tag. But that comes with repetition and working on it. But that's something that I felt could be a problem back when he made the move, going to first base from catcher, that he might be stretching out and then have to move the arm on a throw that sails toward the plate. And sure enough, that happened. Thank goodness he's so strong, though. That's how he was able to survive without any serious injury there.
Absolutely. The elder statesman on that infield and in that starting lineup, you got Contreras on one side and Arenado on the other. I mean, what a performance by Nolan Arenado on opening day and throughout the weekend. Just tremendous, John. And, what were your observations of him in spring training, as a lot was made of what he would be like coming back after a season of trade discussion?
I thought he was in a pretty good place in spring training, and he was able to get his work in at the plate. And what we noticed in the games that we broadcast, that he's back to a Gold Glove and a Platinum Glove performance at third base. He wants that Gold Glove back and that Platinum Glove. That's something that eluded him, and I think he takes a great deal of pride in that, just like he does pulling home runs and extra base hits. But we've seen him using a little bit of right and right center field, and that just makes him a lot more dangerous hitter. And then taking a ground ball up the middle to drive in a run in game one, just make contact. And as Brad Brown has told the guys, there's a time to mash and there's a time to hit. And when the Cardinals have been getting to two strikes, they have a much different approach from what we experienced the last 2 years.
Also, they played well defensively, and going back a couple of seasons, it was not a typical Cardinals defense. They weren't very good. Little improvement last year. How have they gotten to the point? And again, I don't want to put too much weight on just 3 games here, but the defense was there for them over that 3. How do they get to that point of improving the defense from what it is a couple of years ago?
Well, John Jay's done a good job of working with the young outfielders, Victor Scott, and certainly working with Jordan Walker, and Jay is off to a good start in his new role as a Cardinal coach, working with that aspect. And then the Cardinal infielders. I mean, when you look at what Contreras has done to advance as far as he has so far at first base, Brendan Donovan is a Gold Glove utility player and showed it on a great diving play yesterday, throwing a runner out at first base. And what we saw from Michael Ciani in center field, he's a great late inning guy. He'll start some games. He'll come off the bench as a pinch runner, stay in to play defense. A very valuable bench. And I think you saw this, Tom, in spring training, to have a Lucan Baker available off the bench. And I haven't seen the lineup yet, but with a lefty going tonight, we just might see him. But Baker earned a spot on the team by doing his job and coming off the bench. He hit a home run in a pinch roll in one of the spring games, and I think that pretty much solidified his spot on the roster.
I don't think there's any
And then-
doubt about it. Yeah, go ahead.
And what we have on the bench too, Tom, I mean, that you add to that was Siani coming off the bench, with Gorman coming off the bench and doing what he did yesterday. It's just a better balanced roster, I think.
I wholeheartedly agree with you. John Rooney, the voice of the Cardinals, is with us. John, let me brag on you for just a minute. This is John's 20th year broadcasting Cardinals games. Came over to us in 2006. And I just wanted to take us into your world, where you arrive at the ballpark on a day like Thursday for opening day, not to mention Saturday and Sunday. And the value that you bring to the broadcast is tremendous with your experience. But I wanted to know what sort of effect it has on you to go back to Busch Stadium and to be able to experience what you just did. Not just 3 wins, but that experience being back inside the ballpark, in particular the opening day, and what effect that has on you.
Well, I think the crowd enjoying the game as much as anything. It works with the players. I think it works with the broadcasters, and it just helps with the whole experience overall. To see the Clydesdales come through the wagon gate, that's the biggest part of opening day for me. But too bad we couldn't keep the ceremony going with the parade of Hall of Famers and the players after that because of the rain delay. But the weather didn't really dampen the way the Cardinals played. And to see the fans feed off of that, the fun they had in the ballpark all 3 days, even with the rain delays on Thursday and Sunday, I think we all feed off of that. And once the game got started, it's great to be back at the ballpark. No question. After being in spring training, seeing those games, the players were anxious to go north, to start playing games that counted. And this team is playing with a little bit of a chip on its shoulder. And I think that's a great thing, to develop a little attitude and work that through the whole year. I mean, everything's not going to fall in place the way it did over the weekend. They might play perfect games, line things up, and the other team will come out and beat them. But it's not going to be for lack of effort. We know that for sure, and for lack of energy. And what we see in the Cardinal dugout after a big play or a big hit or a home run, that's uplifting to all of us up in the booth too, as well as in the stands.
Yeah, Tom and I were just talking about this earlier about that chip on the shoulder sort of thing, and you can have it. It's pretty easy to do that for a short period of time. How do you carry that on through an entire season, as long as a baseball season is?
Keep winning series. That's how you carry that. You develop an attitude, you develop a way, a swagger, or whatever it takes to get ready for each game and go out there and perform on a consistent basis. And what I like to see out of pitchers in spring training, okay, they come out and they have a good inning, especially the young ones. Let's see if they can come out and do it again. Well, let's go game by game and take it that way. And that's what the Cardinals did over the weekend. And to get some other guys involved, we're going to have Contreras involved in the offense. The same for Mason Wynn, but it certainly hasn't hurt Mason's defense at all at shortstop. That's always fun to watch. He has so many different ways he can beat you, and the bat's going to come around very soon too. But that's how you do it, Chris. You just keep a winning attitude, keep a winning way, and enjoy that moment. Because I remember Jack Buck telling me years ago, nothing better in sports than winning baseball. And the players certainly feed off of that. They get to the ballpark earlier every day, get their work in. They enjoy coming to the ballpark. They enjoy each other in the clubhouse. That's a really good clubhouse to be around right now, too. I think that's one of the major things the Cardinals have going for them.
Absolutely. And there's no stat for that. That doesn't show up on a report, that kind of edge or that feel and that human nature. And the brain is an amazing thing, John. And I wanted to ask you this one as well, because I thought Sonny Gray really set the tone well for the season. Everybody knows his fastball's not there, what he's used to, but he is a pitch maker. And I was really impressed with how he got out of trouble. Sometimes, to me, the greatest mark of a pitcher is not how they dominate, but how they get things going when things aren't 100%.
No, and Sonny Gray was able to go out there and limit the damage, no question. He'd like to have a home run ball back. He gave up the Bader, but everything else just seemed to be in line and check with what he wanted to do. And he goes out there. He puts so much into every pitch. He has his game plan all mapped out. And watched him from afar for a long time with Oakland, the Yankees, with Cincinnati, then up in Minnesota. He put together such a good year and would have had more wins with a little more run support. and then coming to the Cardinals and the start that he had after a spring training injury. Got a late start, but it was a great start. And he's going to give you 5, 6, occasionally go into the 7th inning when he really economizes on pitches. And it wouldn't surprise me he gets there before too long. But he does not need a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Doesn't have one, but he does move the ball. His sweeper is impressive. His off-speed pitches, and then his fastball can be deceptive, as it was on opening day. And he got through 5, got the job done, and set up the Cardinal bullpen.
Yeah, and as we mentioned, Michaelis is getting the start tonight for the Cardinals and, had a couple of good outings in spring training. For somebody who's trying to find it again, how are we going to know if he truly has?
When he gets outs, that's how we'll know, and how efficient and how quickly he can get those outs. He gave up more hits than innings pitched. He's around the plate all the time, and we'll see how the Angels game plan him, probably swinging on the first pitch or two, trying to put the ball in play. But Miles has worked some things with the arm angle, with his timing on his delivery home. He's still a quick worker. He's still a strike thrower. And one thing that hasn't changed, mentally, he's a tough guy. And many games, he's up in the strike zone, and they lift those little dunker singles into the outfield because the pitch was elevated enough. They didn't need a full swing to hit the ball a long way. And that's what he calls the death by 1,000 cuts. And those games have kind of haunted him, that he's looking to overcome that and be a little more pinpoint like he was when he first came to the Cardinals. And the guy's a 2-time All-Star, but he's a pro. He knows what he wants to do, and he has prepared himself for this year, and I'm anxious to see him get started with his game tonight.
John, I loved our conversations for many years at 8:15 a.m. I got to say, I kind of like this a little bit better. This is good. I'm enjoying the heck out of this. I look forward to more.
Well, we have a little more time than we have at 8:15. And what's the traffic, by the way? I'm used to hearing the update on that. And
smooth sailing.
And the weather forecast.
Yeah, we're okay.
Yeah, it's fine. Wherever you want to go, smooth.
Okay. Any bad jokes today, Chris?
No, man. I'm off guard once again. I promise I'll have one for you. You join us on Wednesday on the Chris and Amy show. I'll have one for you then.
Okay.
Where's
Sounds
yours?
Like a winner. I'm saving it for next year.
Okay. Next year. He already spent his one he had, and it was pretty good. All right. Thanks, John.
And it was a bad one. It was a really bad one.
It's supposed to be.
Yeah, that's the idea behind it. But yeah, let's go for 4 here. Let's get 4 in a row, and let's get some runs for Miles tonight and have some fun at the ballpark.
John Rooney, thank you, sir.
Thanks, John.
All right.
John and Rick Horton, Mike Claiborne, part of the broadcast tonight, as the Cardinals will host the Angels of Los Angeles and or Anaheim. That'll be tonight. 6:45 is the first pitch. Pre-game show is at 5:50. And prior to that, the Redbird Rush Hour starts at 5 o'clock with Kevin Wheeler and Matt Pauley. They'll have some Cards talk for you leading into the pregame show, then into the ball game. There's nowhere to go in St. Louis better for Cardinals talk than this place right here. We're on the Gashouse Gang, and it's 104.1 FM KMOX.
We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, and we're here for all of life's wins. Like when you get a new car, or new boat, or new driver, or when your son moves out, but your mom moves in, or you find out you're expecting again, or when one rental property turns into 2, then 20, or you realize they're all in Tornado Alley. Life is full of life events, so call your Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance agent or visit mofbinsurance.com to find an agent near you, and we'll make sure you have the right coverage for each of life's wins.
We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, and we're for the people of Missouri, in good times and in bad. We're for Missouri families and Missouri communities. We're for giving back to those communities and lifting people up. And when Missouri weather rips through our state, we're for helping put back the pieces. We're for brighter days and new tomorrows. We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, and if you live in Missouri, we're for you.
Hey St. Louis, this is Ben Barnett, board-certified master arborist and owner at Timberline Professional Tree Care. As a local small business owner for the past 24 years, I always do my best to shop local and support our community. Recently, 2 of the largest tree contractors in the region have sold to out-of-town investment groups. This means that the new owners of these companies are not invested in quality, customer satisfaction, or safety, except for how it affects their bottom line. Timberline Professional Tree Care was founded in 2001 and is focused solely on giving you, the customer, the safest, highest quality product while providing the best customer service before, during, and after the job. I've poured my heart and soul into tree care for the past 24 years, and we aren't going anywhere. When it comes time to take care of your trees, I ask that you shop local and call me, Ben Barnett, at Timberline Professional Tree Care, 636-479-7475, or online at stltreecare.com.
Spring is here. Time for daffodils and road construction. Do your part to avoid a work zone crash. Pay attention, slow down, put the phone down while driving so we can all go home safe. Join the 11th Annual St. Louis Work Zone Awareness 5K, Saturday, April 19th in Chesterfield. Sign up today at kingmox.com/events. That's kingmox.com/events. Brought to you by the Missouri Coalition of Roadway Safety.
Retiring soon? Get the information you need by joining Kyle Jones and Matt Allgeier of Fire Capital Management for your retirement highway, Sunday mornings at 9:30. Investment advisory services made available through Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Securities made available through AE Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, millions of men experience ED, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. At HIMSS, our own board-certified urologist, Dr. Peter Stahl, knows this better than anyone, and he knows that HIMSS can help.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, Senior Vice President of Men's Sexual Health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS.
Through HIMSS.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs. Options at up to 95% less than the brand names when you get started at hims.com/joy. To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% less than brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
I'm Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey. Human trafficking is occurring right here in Missouri. You can help combat it by learning the signs of human trafficking and reporting suspicious activity to law enforcement. Victims may appear malnourished, show signs of mental or physical abuse, or avoid social interaction. If you're a victim or know someone who needs help, contact the National Human Trafficking Hotline at 1-888-373-7888 or text the word HELP to Be Free. Together, we can fight human trafficking in Missouri.
Brought to you by the Missouri Attorney General's Office.
The Biz Dash returns as St. Louis's healthiest happy hour. Combining fitness and fun, it's a perfect team bonding activity for any size business. All levels of runners and walkers are welcome. Join us this spring at Energizer Park, home of St. Louis City SC, for the 10th year of the Biz Dash, the ultimate office party and kickoff to summer. Thursday, May 22nd at Energizer Park in downtown St. Louis. Create your company team today at stlbizdash.com.
Clint Black in concert. Clint Black, an incredible night featuring some of his greatest hits. Saturday, April 12th, 7 p.m., the Family Arena. Clint Black in concert. Special guests Ruby Lee and Emily Ann Roberts. On sale now at the Carroll House Furniture box office located at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster. Don't miss Clint Black.
It's the greatest pop rock of the 60s and 70s. The Happy Together Tour 2025 with the Turtles, Jay and the Americans, Little Anthony, Gary Puckett and the Union Gap, the Vogues, and the Cowsills. August 21st, the Family Arena. Reserve seats on sale now at the Carroll House Furniture box office located at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster.
Now, back to the Gashouse Gang on your home of the St. Louis Cardinals. 11:20 a.m., 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Goldschmidt swings at the first pitch and lofts it to left center field and deep. Mitchell back, track, wall, see ya! Bellinger lost one deep to right center. There it goes into the bleachers, see ya! That one's driven deep to left field. There it goes, see ya! Back to back to back, 3-0 Yankees.
From Yes Network on 3 pitches, the first 3 pitches of the game, ended up in 3 Yankees home runs off Nestor Cortez of the Brewers. So, hey, thanks, Yanks, for helping us out there a little bit. Brewers are 0-3 to start the season. Man, that was really something. This show brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer. Tom Ackerman, Chris Ranji for a few more moments. And everybody's been talking about these baseball bats that the Yankees were using, that they're designed a little differently. I've heard them described as bowling pins. They look like bowling pins or torpedoes, where the end of the bat is tapered toward the top, toward the barrel where the heavy part is, and more wood is pushed down closer to the handle. They are different looking. You may not notice them unless you're looking closer, but when you do look closely, you realize that's strange. They were designed by an MIT physicist, apparently are legal by Major League Baseball standards, and they help sweeten make the sweet spot in a better place where most hitters end up hitting the ball anyway. And the Yankees hit a ton of home runs. They've been using these bats, at least some of them, not Aaron Judge, but they had a ton of home runs over the weekend series. I thought this was interesting. It's not something I had seen before. I guess a few other players around the league are using them, and you wonder how long it'll be before they filter to all these other teams and other players.
It's going to explode the bat industry because everybody's going to be clamoring for these. So the companies that will try to make these torpedo style bats, but yeah, they're perfectly legal. I mean, you have to be made from one solid piece of wood. They have to be no more than 42 inches in length. And I was looking it up, 2.61 inches in diameter at its thickest part. Well, that's what it is.
Yep.
So that's just the way it is. They're bashing home runs out there right now and doing some damage to the Milwaukee Brewers. The Yankees, Aaron Judge, he is something special. He almost had 4 home runs in that first game. Also,
Goldie leading off. How about that?
Yeah, Goldie with a bomb.
Yeah.
Also, you're going to see one of the greatest players of his generation this week. Mike Trout will be in town. Trout so far is 0 for 10 to start the season. So he's due for something here. So we'll see what ends up happening with him. But Trout so far is 0 for 10. Last year, he only played 109 games, injured again, hit 220, 10 home runs, 14 RBIs. Kind of a shame. One of the great players that we've ever seen doesn't get a sniff of the postseason. Greatest thing that ever happened to him on TV was the World Baseball Classic matchup with Ohtani.
It is one of the saddest things to ever happen in baseball.
It really is.
I'm telling you.
But I hope you get to see him.
15 postseason plate appearances. One of the best players we have ever seen in the history of the game, and he's got 15 plate appearances total in the playoffs. That team, that organization has done him an incredible, and the baseball world, an incredible disservice.
Ollie Marmol on the show tomorrow at 12:05.
Let's go. A half hour with Oliver Marmol. You can send in your questions to us. You can do it tomorrow if you want. You can do it now. We don't care. But Oliver Marmol from 12 until 12:30. The Gashouse Gang is back with you. Tom Ackerman, Chris Ranji, Bernie will be with us tomorrow as well on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, millions of men experience